I do have to ask just a couple of questions just to make sure that I have all of the facts together. Miss Willis, are you receiving any assistance from Waco Housing Authority or any other federally government agency that where they pay so much of your rent?
Yes, housing do cover my full amount of rent.
Okay, housing covers your full amount of rent.
Yes, sir.
And how long has housing been paying your full amount of rent?
I believe for the last 2 years or a year or so, I could say.
So housing pays your full rent.
Yes, sir.
When was the last time you went for recertification with Housing Authority?
Back in August of 25. I don't know the exact date.
Do you have that letter that you received from the Housing Authority in August of 2025, which states that they are paying your full rent for this property? You have the letter?
No, I don't have the letterhead with me. No, no, sir, I don't.
But Your Honor,
Okay.
she is correct. Uh, I agree with her statement. Housing is paying the entire amount of rent. So this is for non-rental obligations only.
Hmm.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm looking at your petition, and I just want to make sure I'm getting a good understanding. Section 2, defendant enter into a lease with RCJ LLC or its assigner or predecessor entitled on or about June 23rd, 2025, rent is 16.17 per month. Defendant's rent is subsidized by the government. Her portion is $0. A copy of the lease attached hereunto. Exhibit A, defendant A has violated the rental payment and refused to vacate after notice given on November 7th, 2025. Rental agreement violation involved defendant's failure to pay sums due from August 2024 until present, which are still due and unpaid. What grounds are we here for with this eviction?
I've got to hear this. I'm like, they've got me on pins and needles sitting here waiting for them to tell me how somebody who has zero rent is getting evicted on what grounds? What she doesn't have to pay. I'm dying to hear the rationale behind this.
Yeah, yes, Judge. So there are some other obligations under the lease, which include like renter's insurance. They have a resident benefit package, and they've they've got some smart home fee. But basically, there's another $114 a month in non-rent obligations on this property, and those have never been paid.
Oh, oh.
Tricky.
Word.
So let's get into the case and let's figure this out. Mr. Berry, you started out by telling me a little more about the complaint. Go ahead and proceed on.
Yeah, yes, Your Honor. As I said, she's correct. The pure rent is $1,617 a month. We sent out the notice to vacate, a 30-day notice by us, regular and certified mail, Tarrant Housing on November the 7th of 2025. For this lease, because this lease actually began on 8/1 of 2025, just like she said about the recertification. So there would be a total of $684 due in non-rental obligations under this lease. For the entire lease, um, let's see, it's really like $2,102, but that'd be going back, like she said, she's lived here for 2 years. Um, but as I look at it, she did sign a new lease on 8/1, so I'm going from 8/1 forward, and that's $684,
Oh
which would be
wow.
non-rental obligations.
So
Yeah, moment of silence for that. Oh, she's a dumbass. Really? So they're taking care of your whole rent. I think they say about 1,700 a month. Just wiping that clean. And you've just got this little $100 over here you got to pay. I don't even know if she has to pay that every month. They said she owes like $600. I'm wondering if that's for the whole year and a half, 2 years she's been living there. And she decides she's going to take a stance and she just don't want to pay nothing. And she's going to lose her benefits of them paying almost $2,000 a month of her rent every month. Over, oh, she's hustling backwards. Oh my goodness. She's hustling backwards.
the tenant is here today because of non-rental obligations.
Yes, Your Honor. So we are seeking possession only in this matter.
So the tenant got a 30-day notice to vacate
Ah!
for non-rental obligations. Let's take a look at the lease. So I would like to go into detail, if you could, the lease and the agreement with housing authority, because this is unique. I may have to call housing authority on this one, because this is my first time having one like this, honestly.
This is
So
first time
I need to get a
experiencing.
good clarification before I move forward. But go ahead. Let's talk about the lease and how and what type of relationship you have with housing authority as it pertains to this unit.
Okay, well, the lease has actually a summary. It's when you look at the first couple of pages, the bottom, it's numbered page 4. So that makes it easy. You can look at, they've got this $50 smart hub fee. They've got a $30 renter's insurance thing and a $34 resident package. So those are the items that have not been paid during the pendency of the lease.
Dependency.
She's been with she's been with this company for almost 2 years.
So these are little miscellaneous things that's been popping up over the whole term of the lease, about a year and a half, 2 years, $600.
That's correct, Your Honor.
It's come to their attention now that they weren't being compensated for these extra fees that housing authority was not paying.
Well, I think they've known it, but they usually wait until there's in excess of, 1 month's rent total, essentially, before starting eviction proceedings.
Mm.
So the rent for this unit is actually 1617, but whenever you add the smart hub,
Right.
the insurance, and the benefit package, it brings it up to 1731.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you're wanting the additional what is that, 80,
It,
100
it, it's
dollars.
114, dollars a month.
What about the what about the contract with Waco Housing Authority? Do you have anything that we can reference?
Let's see. I had seen a letter in here. We open up all the different little. Yes, I do have it.
Is it in the files here with me?
I've got the original one from. No, I've got the original one. Let's see, from 5/13/24. That's just got
I don't
market
think
rates
she
and things.
understands the gravity
But
of
that's
how
where they
bad she
requested the
effed up.
1617. So that's the last time the lease went up. Looking at this, which I can email to you right now.
And Housing Authority has an agreement. I just want to say, this may be a yes or no question. Does Housing Authority, or is their agreement, is it based on the rent alone and not the additional packages? Is that the agreement that Housing Authority has with your plan, with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And your client, they did notify Housing Authority in writing that they intend to terminate the tenant's lease based on this
Yes,
complaint.
Your Honor.
Okay.
Let's see. There's that.
I know this attorney right here, or this lawyer right here. When they told him about this case, he probably didn't even ask for no money to take. He probably said it would be my honor to go ahead and get this entitled person up out of here who doesn't want to just pay these little fees in order to get $2,000 rent paid off. This is the leadership right here. This is who's leading the next generation, man. Like, this is who's schooling and teaching the next generation that's going to be out here, because in what world did that sound like a good decision for you to make a stand and not pay that and just basically say, I'm not paying a dime. And now you're about to get kicked off the program and basically never be able to get back on it again. And now you're going to really have to pay some real rent. Like, you're going to have to really eat that and live with that. I don't think, some people just don't get it until the consequences actually drop down on their head. She must be that type of person.
And so I've just emailed you that, which is really just like, one sheet of paper for the lease.
Uh, let me hear, Miss Willis.
Yes, sir.
Are you still
Please.
staying there at this unit?
Yes, I'm here.
Tell me why you feel like you should not be evicted.
Um, for one, because like I said, housing is covering my full amount rent. So I feel like I've been in this unit. I was the first one to be in this unit. I keep the unit up. Like I keep make sure the grass is mowed. The diligence that I need to do on the house. I feel like if I can't afford the rent, I take full responsibility of the house fees. When I first got into this house, I was working for an insurance company. I was making the money. I could afford it. I lost my job. Housing started covering. I couldn't afford the extra fees that was on the house. I take full accountability for that. Um, I feel like, I don't have anywhere to go. Like, if I could have got out before I renewed it, I would have been left the house. If I could afford those moving expenses and stuff like that, but I couldn't. So it was like I was stuck here, and I couldn't go anywhere, um, due to the fees or whatever. Housing is saying that I can't have no fees. I can move out the house, but I would have to have zero fees on the house in order for me to move. So I just been trying to catch myself back up, and I'm just a single mother. I don't. It's out of my control. I just don't know what to do. I don't know what to say to that. Like I don't. I do take accountability for that. I do know the house do have fees. No, I could not afford it. That's why housing was covering my full amount of rent. And I'm basically stuck here.
So whenever you went in for recertification, um, I assume you were informed that they would only cover the rent, not these additional fees. Is that right?
No, I didn't. When I went into recertification this month, I really didn't speak with no one in the office because they have been backed up. So they told us and quite a few other people that was there that day to go online and recertify through there. So that's how I did everything online. But I never had a meeting or sat down with no one pertaining to the new lease or anything like that. I just went on recertified, and they kept paying the rent. They didn't stop paying it. So I just figured that everything was taken care of.
So the amount that let me see if I can clarify a little bit better. The amount that you pay, was that just the rent only, not the additional fees?
Yes.
Okay. So you were fully aware that you were still responsible for those additional fees.
Yeah, I was responsible for those when I moved into the house.
Mm, mm, mm.
And as you stated in the oath, you were paying them,
Yes.
but lost your job, and that created a financial hardship to pay the additional fees, but housing authority continued to pay your rent.
Yes, sir.
Mm. Case
Mr. Berry, you're
closed.
just seeking property, right?
Yes, Your
Case closed. Listen, man, we got to start cutting through some of the BS. But just be real, because who thinks she was scrambling from sun up to sundown trying to find a job like her life was dependent on it, going to every store? She's in her car right now. So I don't know why you would decide to go in your car unless you had gas and do a court case. You just do it in the house. So she was probably out right then, and she said, "Oh, let me hop on court." Who thinks she was driving around to every place all day while business is running within a certain area, probably close to her home, because that's sustainable. And then when you get home, you need to still be applying, doing everything in your power, because you need to find a job ASAP. And the benefit of her situation, all you got to do is just find one. And on the first day of work, you'll pretty much make that money. You'll make $100 your first day of work. So I'm not understanding why you couldn't accomplish this mission. That was that was a that's a very accomplishable mission, in my opinion.
Honor.
Are you seeking your court costs, Mr. Berry?
No, Your Honor.
Oh,
I
they
looked
don't
through the
want nothing. They
paperwork. I
just
see
want that
that the
house
notice to
back.
vacate was sent via certified mail, so I didn't have to ask you that. Okay. Um, okay. Um, so with that being said, I'm going to rule in favor for the plaintiff for possession of the property,
Oh,
possession only. The plaintiff has waived court costs in this particular unit, so they're just seeking property. You do have the right to appeal my decision. They made some new changes to the laws, and I have to make sure that I'm up to date with those because it was effective January 1st. But When I last read it, I think they said the appeal bond has to be at least $250. And so that's what your appeal bond is going to be. That's yeah, there's the greater. Okay. So with that being said, you have 6 days from today's date to appeal my decision. If you do not appeal this judgment against you, and you are still occupying the premises located at 916 Olive Street, 76704. But make sure I'm clear. If you don't appeal and if you're still staying there after that 6th day, you got 6 days to appeal, but if you're still staying there after that 6th day and you don't appeal, then that 7th day, Mr. Berry, on behalf of the plaintiff, can take the next legal actions against you. That is when the constable will serve you with a 24-hour notice to move out. It could be the next business day. It could be business days 2 days after you file. I don't know. No one really knows when they're going to serve you with this notice again if you do not appeal and you're still occupying the premises. And once you receive that notice, if you have not vacated the property, the constable will be back over there within that, once that time period has expired. And that's where the constable will meet the members of the plaintiff, their representatives, maintenance personnel, whomever, movers.
Look at Mr. Barry's face. Mr. Barry's not playing no games. Let me tell you something. He's already got that next step that judge was talking about on auto send. It's already ready. As soon as that 6-day hit, it already is on auto send to send directly to the courts. He is not playing. He took this case out of, he does not like entitlement. I can tell. And he this was personal for him.
And they're going to be able to safely and peacefully remove all of your personal belongings. The constable will be there to act as security. That's going to be their job, to act as security. And then at that time, the movers will be able to take all of your personal belongings from inside of the home, clothes, whatever. They will put it in bags and they'll put it on the outside. Furniture, everything's going on the outside. Okay. That's how this ends. I think it's unfortunate. I strongly encourage you to contact housing authority by them of exactly what has transpired and see how they can assist you. Also, I strongly encourage you to contact EOAC. They may have, the keyword, they just may have some funds to assist you with emergency rental assistance, and that is to assist you with finding somewhere else to stay. I cannot force Mr. Barry, anyone from RGCA LLC to accept any funds from you after today's date.
Okay.
The EOAC assistance that they provide you with.
Judge, stop it. Stop it. This is just more depressing the more I listen to it. He's trying to give her hope. There is no hope. Not to get anything free anymore. Because I'll tell you this right now. A lot of these people we review, man, y'all better stop playing with people. Let me tell you something. They were still, whoever the LLC is, the owners, they were still getting the $1,700. They just was missing out on like $100. So that's still a pretty good tenant, right? That's somebody paying their rent, just not paying these little fees. But guess what? They knew where that money was coming from. And see, what y'all don't understand is there is a sentiment of like, before they'll even take their own profit and just get you up out of there, you taking care of the yard, you're still keeping the house in good condition. So they have a pretty decent tenant that they know they're going to get reliable income from. But when they understand the backstory and the background behind what's going on, and you're getting all your rent paid for, and you just don't want to pay $100, and taxpayers are basically funding your whole life, there are people who will take a stance on that and be like, oh, nah, this is a pretty decent deal. You know, we're not hurting that bad. But once they understand what's really going on, they're like, oh, heck no. Oh, she don't just want to pay $100. They was hating a little bit. And I can't even be mad at them, because how can I feel bad for you when all you had to do was figure out, you had to put all your mental faculties and all your life energy into just figuring out how to come up with this $100 so you can stay on this program that people would give anything to get on. You had the best type of version. There's some people, man, they still got to pay $500, still got to pay $1,000 in rent. They only get a little knocked off. They was paying your whole rent. She was in the top 1% of Section 8 recipients. And I don't know if that's accurate, but like that's like she was a high value Section 8 receiver, right? She was in the top 0.1% getting her whole rent taken care of. And you couldn't just, you had to make a stand. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. It's going a little long, so we'll leave it there. Y'all, if y'all could do me a favor, like the video. It helps more than you know, tremendously. It only takes a millisecond. And then also, if you could hype the video. Hype is a new feature on YouTube where it helps smaller content creators. And basically, it pushes us out the same way that it pushes the larger content creators and gives us the same visibility. So if you could do that, that would help more than you know. And then also, Patreon's link below if you want to see self-improvement content. But until then, I'll catch you in the next video.